it's Ian, the singing budgeter, and I'm so glad we have this time together. So welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, I'm a singer-actor here in Orlando, Florida, and I'm on a journey to becoming debt-free. Alright, so in today's video, we are going to be doing a breakdown of my second paycheck for the month of September of 2023. And the first thing that I like to do, as always, is go over to my calendar to just see how the week is going to unfold. Alright, and we notice that my payday is on the 14th, and I will be funding anything that's due up until the 20th. So, pretty straightforward again this week. Looks like I have my credit card is due this week, and I have a couple of bills, and looks like my savings account as well. But other than that, it's a pretty easy week, it looks like, for payments. So that's great. So let's get right into my budgeting. As always, we want to start with my full-time job. This is going to be week 2. I am a 40-hour-a-week employee, and I always want to just budget for the 40 hours that I work, because while I do have the ability to get overtime here and there, it's definitely never guaranteed weekly or even monthly. So I just stick to my 40 hours a week, and if I get more, then that's great. But I'm going to stick with just the 40 hours, which is $922.31. All right, and then next we are going to be doing my rollover from week 1. Now, I'm just going to go with what I initially thought my rollover was going to be for week 1. But if you saw my last video where I did a budget checkup of my first paycheck, I actually ended up rolling over about $500 more than I was expecting. So I have both of these numbers, so I'm just going to put them both in. So I had originally budgeted $451.18, but at the end of last week, I had $999.17 to roll over, which was awesome. I had a really great week. I had some extra income come in from selling some furniture, and then something completely out of the blue, a tax proration agreement. If you don't know what that is, check out my last video. I talk about that at length in that. So yeah, so that's going to be my income for this week that I'm expecting. All right, so then let's move down into my debts and expenses. And so I have a mortgage and I have credit card debt. And this week, my credit card is due. So that is through Bank of America. All right, and then the amount that is due is $74. And it is going to be due on the 17th. All right. And that's it for my debts. Let's move down into bills. And as if you remember from my calendar, I have a couple bills that are due. I have Netflix, and I also have my Sirius XM radio subscription that's due. So for Netflix, I'm expecting it to be $16.71, and it's going to be due on the 15th. And then for SiriusXM, I just recently had it lowered. I was paying about $23 a month, but thanks to one of my subscribers who tipped me off to calling and negotiating my rate down, I was able to get it from $23 all the way down to $8.25 a month, which is great. All right, and then that is going to be due on the 16th. All right, so that is going to be my bills for the week. Now let's move down to my cash envelopes. All right, so first off we have groceries, followed by eating out, and then car, followed by fun money, and then we finish it off with miscellaneous. I've been working really hard this month trying to figure out if my budget for my groceries and eating out is correct. I'm going to continue that this week, just sticking with what I had before. So I'm going to be budgeting $100 for groceries and $100 for eating out. Now, last week I didn't spend nearly that much money, but I just want to make sure that it's consistently under $100 before I start budgeting a different amount. I'm just going to stick with $100, and after this month, I will, make the decision to switch amounts if, in fact, I do spend less or even more, really. So I'm going to stick with $100 for groceries and eating out. Car is, again, going to get $50, and that's for gas and tolls. All right, fun money, it can be for whatever I'd like it to be, and so I'm going to be budgeting $50 again this week for fun money. And then finally we have miscellaneous, which basically is if it falls into a category that is not one of these four, it goes straight into miscellaneous, and so I'm budgeting $50 again for that. So all in all, $350 towards my cash envelopes. Next, we go down to sinking funds, and I didn't fund my sinking funds last week because I said I was going to do them this week. So let's get to funding. All right, so first I have car, then medical, followed by home. Then we have the kids' investment funds, then emergency. And then last we have taxes. All right, so because of COVID last month, I initially had budgeted a certain amount to go into my sinking funds, but I wasn't paid for 6 straight days, and so I had to make some adjustments. And so I basically pulled all of my money that I was going to be budgeting out of my sinking funds, except for the kids' investment funds. So I'm hoping this month nothing out of the blue happens so that I can fund those sinking funds. And so if all goes according to plan, I'm planning on budgeting $100 towards my car. And that is going to be towards any kind of maintenance that happens. And so I want to make sure that I have some form of savings towards that just in case. All right. And then next, I'm very, blessed that I have an HSA through my employer. And so a lot of my medical funding comes from my HSA, but just in case anything major were to happen, I still want to have a sinking fund for medical, just for peace of mind, really. So I'm planning on budgeting $100 for medical as well. Then we're going to be doing $100 for the home. This is just going to be for anything that pops up unexpectedly with my house. All right, and then the kids' investment funds. If you had watched one of my earlier videos, I explained that instead of doing Christmas and birthday presents for my nieces and nephews, I decided to open up an investment account for each of them. And I have control of it until each of them turns 25 years old, and then they'll take control over it. And so every birthday and every year at Christmas, I specifically put $50 per child into their investment funds. And along with that, I've been able to get money from my grandma, my mom, and my other sister to invest as well. So we've been able to, slowly but surely build up their investment funds. So they're going to have, some money to either continue investing, or if they need to pull it out for schooling or down payment for a house or anything like that, they'll have that money. I just thought it was kind of a better idea than giving them a present that wasn't going to be used after 6 months, or clothing that they were going to grow out of. So I'm really happy that I'm doing that. And so every month I'm putting aside $30 so that by the time I have to pull out some money for Christmas, I'll have that ready to go. All right, and then next we have just my normal emergency fund, and that is going to be getting $100. And then taxes is a very unique thing for me. As a performer, I do have a W-2 job with my full-time employer, but I also do a lot of side gigs, and that's a lot of 1099 work. And so I want to make sure that I have taxes set aside to pay for that, especially after last year. Because of the purchase of my house and a variety of other things, I was hit with a $6,000 tax bill. And so I don't want to have that happen again and not have the funds to pay for it. So I'm setting aside at least for now, $100 a month. All right, so now let's head on over to my sinking funds tracker and put the money there. Here we are at my sinking funds tracker. As you can see, I have my car, medical, home, the kids' investment funds, emergency, and taxes. Now, I did say that I wasn't able to fund it last month with the money that I was planning on budgeting for it, but they are in high yield savings accounts, and so there is interest accrued every month. And so I was able to, thankfully, take the interest that was accrued that month and apply it towards each of the different sinking funds. So I was able to put $20 for car, $20 for medical, $20 for home, $30 for emergency, and $30 for taxes. But I'm hoping today that nothing crazy happens and I'm able to fund them fully with the amount that I'm budgeting. So let's put those in. All right, so $914, $100 for car, $100 for medical, and then $100 for home. The kids' investment funds will be getting $30 again. Emergency fund is getting $100. And then taxes will also be getting $100. All right, so when we look at the totals that I've accumulated so far, we have $390 for my car balance, $390 for my medical balance, $390 for my home balance, $60 for the kids' investment funds, $400 for my emergency fund, and $158.65 for taxes. All right, let's head on back to my budget. All right, now that we've done my sinking funds, let's move on down. Nothing I'm expecting for extra expenses this week, so that's going to stay blank. And then down to investing, every Friday I put $10 a week into my online savings account. Now I also have a Roth IRA and a brokerage account and a 401k. My 401k is taken out every week from my paycheck, so I don't even see it. So it's out of sight, out of mind, and invested, which is great. And then my Roth IRA and my brokerage account are taken out the first of the month and at the end of the month. So not on this week's budget, but coming to a budget near you. All right, that's it for investing and for my weekly budget. Let's go look at the totals. All right, so for income, I've budgeted $1,373.49. Now, I already know that I'm going to be making a little bit more than that, but I'm just going to stick with this for now, and when the actual numbers come in for the rest of my income, then I will put those numbers there. But initially, it's going to be $1,373.49. I have $74 going towards my credit card, $24.96 going towards my bills, and then $350 for cash envelopes, and then my sinking funds are getting $530. No extra expenses this week, and then $10 for investing. And at the end of all of that, if all goes according to plan, I should have a surplus of $384.53. And that money will then roll over to next week's budget. And as I've said in every weekly budget video, I don't pay off anything debt-wise until the end of the month, just in case anything were to pop up unexpectedly. If I'd already paid off the debt, I would have to pull out of savings, and I don't want to do that. So I just keep everything the way it is until the end of the month. And then if I have any money left over then, that's when I get to pay off my debt, which is my Rooms to Go credit card. All right, so we're going to end the video here. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to the channel. And until next time, have a musical day.